name is Taylor Smith, aka the Career Coach, and today I'm talking about career fair prep. So whether you have a career fair coming up in the next few weeks or maybe even tomorrow, this video is dedicated to you and is sure to give you all the information you need so that you can properly prepare for the upcoming fair. So again, my name is Taylor Smith, aka the Career Coach, and I help college students and professionals get noticed by recruiters, stand out as a top candidate, and get offers for paid internships and full-time opportunities. If any of that resonated with you, then you are in the right place, and let's go ahead and continue with our video. So before we get started, and just to be clear, this video is a checklist on how you can properly prepare for a career fair. If you still aren't really sure what that is, you want to learn more about that and what are the benefits of attending one, please make sure to check out this video from last week where I talk all about that in more detail. But with that said, let's go ahead and get started on the checklist. So the first item on the checklist is to create a strategic game plan. So a lot of these organizations that host these career fairs, they have a list of all the companies who will be in attendance as well as their booth number. So if you're a type A person and you really like to plan in advance, you probably want to identify the companies that you want to talk to, maybe even look up some more information on these so that you really understand what they offer, and then write out the booths that you're going to visit in chronological order, right? So I want to visit this company first because I want to get some of my nerves out when I do my elevator pitch, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But basically, you want to try to talk to the companies you're maybe not the most interested in first, just to simply get out some of those nerves, and then you continue and talk to the companies that you're most interested in. Still early on before all the crowds come in the long lines, but you kind of want to be strategic when you create this game plan, right? This is what a lot of really good and sharp people do to plan for career fairs. But sometimes, I don't really have the time to do all this research, or I just don't really want to because that's just not my personality type, right? So I still want to make sure I take at least a glance and understand what companies are going to be there. Maybe take it a little bit deeper and understand which ones are more aligned to my major and the positions that I'm interested in. But either way, have that information and have the map downloaded on your phone. So when you are at the career fair and you decide, I think I want to talk to this company now, or someone whispers in your ear, hey, XYZ company is hiring people like you, for internships this summer. Make sure you go visit them. You can look at the map and get an idea of where they're located without having to just search the whole perimeter of the career fair looking for them. Number 2 on the checklist is to update and review your resume. So this is the foundation of any application process, whether you are applying directly online or you're attending a career fair. You want to make sure your resume is really sharp because that's going to be one of the first questions they ask you, right? So you definitely want to make sure that you have strong SMART descriptions on your resume, which is going to really highlight what it is that you've done in each position. To learn more about SMART descriptions, make sure that you watch this video here where I talk about this in a lot more detail and how to apply these and add these to your resume. Of course, you need to do this in advance so that you have the sharpest resume out there. Also worth noting, if you're someone who attending a career fair because you just really don't have a lot of experience and you haven't had a lot of luck applying to positions directly online, then you may consider also watching this video where I talk about different sections you can include in your resume that you may have not considered before and will really make you stand out, especially if you're someone who doesn't have a lot of experience. And so you're going to have to get a little bit creative and think of things that you can add to and fill up your resume to really make you stand out. Third on the checklist, so now that you've updated your resume, you need to make sure that you have plenty of copies available so when you're walking around the career fair, or if it's virtual, obviously this won't exactly apply to you. But you want to print probably somewhere between 15 to 30 copies, and I'm sure you're probably thinking this because some people ask me this question, do you need to use resume paper? And the answer is no. Honestly, resume paper, for those who are like, what the heck is that? It's kind of like a cardstock material. It's just a little bit thicker and it makes your resume a little bit firmer. It's less likely to get messed up, etc. No, you can just use regular printer paper. Honestly, a lot of companies nowadays, they don't even take your resume with them anymore. Basically, they just take a copy of your resume, they use their iPad or phone to take an image of it, and then they save it into their database. So that said, it really doesn't matter what paper you put your resume on. It's more so about the content and the quality of what is on your resume and how you're able to recite that and explain that to the recruiter. But with that said, you still want to make sure that you have a decent amount of copies, even if a lot of companies are now just taking digital images, because you never know which ones are actually going to take them, or someone may actually write on your resume to potentially give you some impromptu critiques at that moment, to help you possibly for future or possibly for next steps. They may even write their contact information on your resume, what have you. So it's always good to have extra copies. Some people even tailor their resume depending on the companies that they're talking to. So if you're someone who's like that, your objective kind of changes depending on the type of company you're talking to, or maybe you've kind of created a little bit of variation on how you have your descriptions and how you may have organized your resume depending on which company you talk to, which is perfectly fine, and which is why you may want to have additional copies available. Also worth noting, if you are participating in a virtual career fair, it'll be good to still have a copy of your resume in front of you that's actually printed. So when you are talking to the recruiter virtually over the phone, the computer, what have you, you have a copy of your resume in front of you and you can kind of look at it as a guide as you're going through your elevator pitch, which we will be talking about next. Number 4 is to draft and create an elevator pitch. If you don't know what an elevator pitch is, you can check out this video here where I talk a lot more about what elevator pitches are, how to adapt to different styles and situations, and how to actually draft one that is most appropriate for you. But in short, this is maybe something that's 1 to 5 minutes long, really running through your resume experiences and explaining what it is that you do and what you bring to the table, what you're looking for in a position, etc., etc. So please keep in mind that when a recruiter asks you the question, tell me a little bit about yourself, a common mistake I see people make is that they're talking about, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I have 3 siblings, and I also have a dog. I really love to do arts and crafts, that is really interesting. We do like that about you. We do want to see your personality while you talk, but you want to show that in a different way. I'm not necessarily asking about your personal life, and not to be rude, we want to know about your professional life. We want to maximize the time that we have together, because I'm going to be talking to tens of hundreds of students today, or within the next 2 days at this career fair. And I really need you to do the best that you can to stand out professionally, because at the end of the day, we're talking about a job opportunity. So make sure that you draft an elevator pitch beforehand. This is basically summarizing everything that's on your resume into a quick snippet, right? And it's very fluid in conversation. Like, be prepared for a recruiter to interrupt you and ask you more questions, and anticipate some of these questions. So when they ask you those, you're not caught off guard and you're able to answer it quickly. However, you're still able to get back on track afterwards. You're not like, where was I at again? Because you didn't really fully remember this elevator pitch you drafted. So make sure that you practice. This is not necessarily 100% like a script you have to get perfect, right? This can be like bullet points, right? This is, again, a conversation. You want it to be very fluid. You want to be someone that you can really get along with, someone that the recruiter can see working at their company, working in teams, being a real team player, right? And so you don't have to be a robot. The person doesn't know exactly what you're going to say, and they don't know when you mess up. So it's okay if you go off script a little bit. Honestly, my elevator pitch varies a little bit depending on who I'm talking to, and that's perfectly okay. So you want to practice it enough so that you feel comfortable. And whenever someone asks you that question, tell me a little bit about yourself or walk me through your resume, you're able to go through it really fluid-like. Additionally, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, you want to try to talk to the companies you're not as interested in. So you're really getting your nerves out and perfecting your elevator pitch. I know you're practicing by yourself. You may be practicing with your friends, but when you get in that environment and you're at the fair and you're actually talking to a professional, things may change a little bit. So go ahead and talk to 1 or 2 companies you're not really as interested in, just to kind of knock out those nerves, really kind of build yourself together, really kind of figure out what it is that you want to say before talking to the companies you're most interested in, and then you can keep tweaking it as you need to going forward. And again, make sure that you're showing your personality. If you're someone that laughs a little bit here and there. Like me, I like to make sure I'm showing that personality there. I like to also share an interesting fact. Again, I share all of this more in the elevator pitch video that you can watch. But you want to make sure, you're sharing more about you. You're not just some robot. You're not just someone who's trying to fit this perfect mold, where the point you kind of come off like you're not really a human, right? But at the end of the day, you still want to remain professional, right? Again, we're trying to avoid a lot of the personal unnecessary things, but if you're able to bring up something that, is still about you, kind of shows your personality, but is still aligned with what the company is looking for, or is a transferable skill, then that's totally fine. I know this may seem a little bit confusing. It's kind of an art, really mastering this elevator pitch, but just get started. You can always tweak it and improve it for future. But the more you practice, the more you talk to people, the better you'll get. And if you meet a really nice recruiter, they may even give you some feedback on how you can improve for future. So that's another benefit, and be open to that feedback, right? Don't take it as a negative. Oh man, I did so bad. Like, oh my God, now they're never going to hire me. That's okay. Not everyone is going to hire you. And that's just a reality of what it is, but instead be very responsive. Really take that feedback in, ask more questions if you need to, and take it as an opportunity to reflect, apply it to the next person that you talk to, and continuously grow. Even if you see this career fair, you may not even get an opportunity, keep using it as a learning opportunity or as an experience to continue to grow and better yourself. So the next time when you come back next year, maybe you'll see that recruiter again, and they'll remember you, and they'll see your progress and how much you've improved, right? But this is just an additional tip I wanted to throw out there for y'all, because sometimes I do talk to students and I give them that feedback, and I can see how defeated they are. And it's not to be mean. It doesn't even mean that I'm not considering you for next steps within the company. It just means I want to give you a little bit of feedback so that you can polish and you can really grow and continue grow and get to talk to more companies that same day, or when you progress to the next steps within my said company for the interview, etc. Number 5, make sure that you are dressed business professional. So I see a lot of students who don't know how to dress professionally for these career fairs, and you need to make sure that you are actually dressed to impress, right? So you are actually wearing a blazer, whether this is some kind of dark or neutral color. This is going to be like a black, dark gray, or navy, right? We're not wearing any brown. We're not wearing cream suits. We're not even wearing light gray. These are the colors that we're staying within. Young men, you need to make sure that you're wearing some kind of button-up shirt. You're not wearing a polo underneath. You're not wearing a polo by itself. You're wearing a button-up shirt with some kind of tie, whether it's a traditional tie or a bow tie. And with this, remember, it's going to be not natural colors, but something not flashy, right? You want to try to avoid a red tie, but that can still be nice and classy. You can wear a black tie, a blue tie. It can have stripes and stuff, but you're definitely not getting anything that's like funny, humorous, anything that's just kind of unprofessional. You're keeping it very classy, right? But you have this button-up shirt. This is going to be more like blues, whites, grays, black. We don't want anything too flashy or crazy as far as the shirt as well. Ladies, you can also wear a button-up shirt, or you can wear a blouse, something like this. Underneath the blazer would be appropriate. Or you can even wear a dress, but make sure if you are wearing a dress that it's an appropriate length, almost to your knees. You also want to make sure that you're avoiding cleavage. As far as jewelry goes, studs are appropriate. If you're a man with earrings, keep it at studs. If you have little hoops or dangly earrings, please take those out. You don't want them bigger than a quarter. But if you are a male, you may consider taking out the earrings. This isn't saying that the company isn't going to accept you. After you get the job, you can wear, the earrings that you want, but you probably still want to be somewhat professional within the work field, right? In addition to that, watches, necklaces, etc. You just want to keep it all very minimal. You want to make sure that your hair is neat. If you need to pull it back and out your face, that's what you want to do. You can wear your natural hair. I've definitely worn Afro puffs before, etc. So I'm going to have some videos in the future where I talk a little bit more about professional dress. I'll probably add it up here if I haven't posted it already, but these are just some general things to keep in mind as far as professional dress, because I see way too many people coming to career fairs casual as can be, business casual, whatever, and this is not appropriate. Some tech companies are okay with this attire, okay? But not all companies are. Even me as a recruiter, I may be in a t-shirt, I might be in a polo jeans, I may even have tennis shoes on, but the expectation as you as a student is to be in a business professional attire. Even if that's not the attire that you'll be wearing day in and day out at the job, this is what you need to bring to the table when you're talking to these companies, because you're bringing your best impression out to them and you're being professional. So it's very, very important to wear this attire. Some people may even rule you out when they first see you and you're not dressed professional, and they automatically don't even really consider anything you say. Doesn't mean that you can't change things around. Doesn't mean that what you say isn't valuable and you can't change someone's initial impression of you, you know, like making a first impression takes literally only 30 seconds, sometimes even 3 seconds. So just something to keep in mind. Definitely make sure that you're coming business professional. Also, ladies, with the shoes, you don't have to wear heels. I used to think that I'd have to wear pumps. I'm going to the career fair. I have arthritis, so that's not a easy thing for me. I have bad ankles and knees, so I just wear really simple flats. Just black flats, keep it simple. That's probably something that you might want to wear whether you have arthritis or not, because you're going to be standing for a long time. You're going to be talking to a lot of companies, walking, so that may be the most comfortable option for you. You can also wear pantsuits. I know I mentioned dresses and skirts before, but wear whatever's the most comfortable for you, because you will be walking around for a long time. Number 6 is to bring a portfolio and some kind of light bag. So this is an example of a portfolio, right? This is from Walmart. It has a notepad. It even has a little folder pocket cubby thingy, so you can put papers and stuff like that. So you're gonna put like your resumes there, your 10 to 30 copies, or possibly when you're talking to companies, they're gonna pass out a lot of little flyers regarding next steps or applying online, etc. So you can take these papers and put them in that portfolio or either the bag. But again, you can get these from pretty cheap, from Walmart, Target, probably even order from Amazon. You can even get them from the bookstore. So this is from my university's bookstore. I was able to actually purchase this one for pretty cheap. Where else? I've even gotten like some from companies at the career fair. I think like, I don't remember, some alcohol beverage company, they had some portfolios, so I have one with the company name on it. And so, you know, you may even pick one up at the career fair, but you want to have one beforehand. If you're not able to get a portfolio, they're usually pretty cheap, like I said, maybe about $10, $15 to purchase one. If you're not able to get one on short notice, then you can just bring a folder. I would try to keep it neutral, you know, something maybe black. If it's purple or something, that's fine. But if it has like a lot of designs on it, it may not be the most professional. You might want to avoid that one, but you can bring a folder or binder if you really have to. Also the light bag. So like a lot of conferences, they actually provide you with the bag, which is pretty nice. This is from the crevices of my closet. So if you see dust, it's literally because I just went and grabbed it and haven't used it in years. But it's really nice because you can put different pins or your personal items, right? Of course, you're going to have your phone with you. You're going to have your keys, your wallet, possibly. So you can put that in the bag, not have to worry about putting it in your pockets or trying to put it in your undergarments. If you're a woman, sometimes, you know, you put the phone here. But that's really convenient for that. You want to make sure you don't pack it so it's really heavy, right? Because you are going to be standing for a while, but that's going to just help make things a little bit easier, and you're not scrambling, talking to the recruiter, trying to shake their hand your resume over, etc. Again, like I said, companies give out little papers with more information, but sometimes they give away random goodies. They're giving away pins, they're giving away AirPods. I've even given away a backpack at my company, you know, different chargers, just like random stuff. I've seen socks, hoodies, not hoodies, but like beanies, you know, etc. So if you happen to get any of these goodies, you can just put them in your bag and you not have to worry about scrambling and holding them. Number 7 is to do your company research. So this is very similar to the first one. If you're actually looking at the list of companies advanced, and when you're deciding, your playbook, okay, I'm going to do this strategic plan, I'm going to visit this one first, and this one, this one, you want to do some kind of research on the companies before. So I like to research before the fair and say, hey, I want to talk to these 10 companies. I'm going to go ahead and do some research about them so I at least know what they do if I don't already know already. As well as the products and services that they sell, and then maybe even an interesting fact. So the interesting fact is more so a pro tip. This is a great way for you to possibly embed this into your elevator pitch at the end. Again, this takes a little bit more skill and practice, but this will really make you stand out to recruiters and potentially be a top candidate on their radar or their list. And I also say research the company, because you are there to impress the company. The company isn't there to inform you and impress you, right? And this is the mindset you have to go having in before the career fair, because if you don't know, you don't know. And I've made this mistake before, which we won't talk about here today, but regardless, you want to make sure that you know at least a little bit about the company. You may not know every single thing. You may not know all the latest and hottest projects that they're working on, but you need to at least have some kind of foundational knowledge to show that you're actually serious about being here and getting some kind of position. Doesn't mean you can't ask more questions to get more information, but you at least need to have some kind of starting point, because too often people come up to career fairs and that's one of the questions I like to ask as a recruiter. So what do you know about the company? What makes you interested about working at XYZ company? Some of the responses I get are, honestly, I don't really know what kind of company you are. That's why I'm here to learn more. Or they may look at the sign that's there at the booth, which is very obvious. I think you guys are oil and gas company. Or I've even had people say, you know what, one of my friends came and talked to you before earlier today. They told me that you're hiring mechanical engineers. So I walked over, I didn't have enough time to research the company, and now I'm here. Well, obviously, and actually you did. We have these little devices that are called cell phones, right? And you're able to actually research the company and do a little bit of research online before you walk up. And when I say research, I do not mean extensive 20-30 minute research. This could literally take anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes, maybe even less. This could be me seeing that there's a line of 3 to 5 people and I'm like, hey, I've never seen this company before, seems interesting. Let me just go ahead and research them really quickly while I stand in line before I talk to a recruiter. And this is just, like I said, understanding what products they serve, or possibly, learning a little bit more about the company's values, etc., but not necessarily having to look into reciting the mission statement or, knowing the history, who's the founder, etc. So a little bit of research can go a long way. I can guarantee you not everyone is doing this, and this is another way that can make you stand out. However, if you don't know a lot about a company, this is not a make or break either. We want to know more about you, what you bring to the table, etc. However, if you do know about the company and you also have a strong elevator pitch, this is only going to increase your chances more of progressing to next steps. Number 8 on the checklist is to make sure that you arrive early. So I will say this, that a lot of companies actually have interview slots available. So they may only have 5 to 10 interview slots, and this is going to the first few people that they meet with who they think are really sharp and immediately want to get to know them better. So if you're the person that comes the last hour of the career fair, you are probably not securing that interview slot. So you want to make sure that you're going as early as possible. Like I mentioned, you can talk to other companies that you may not be as interested in, but don't go talk to 10 to 20 companies before you talk to the ones you're really interested in, because you might miss that window. That said, you may have commitments that may make you miss the beginning, whether this may be related to class or school. Well, that's the same thing. I meant class or work. And if that's the case, I highly suggest you really weigh the pros and cons and decide, is this worth missing one day of class for you to get a job opportunity that's going to pay you $60 to $100K annually? Because that's why you go to school, right? You go to school so that you can get a good job when you graduate. unless you decide that, you know, you're really just going for an education and that's all you care about, right? Then that's a totally different thing. Or if you're looking to go more the research route, or you're looking to become a professor, which is totally fine. But if you're going to school and getting an education so that you can get a job, then it may be worth that sacrifice of missing class. If you have to miss a test, then, you know, I wouldn't promote that. If, you know, depending on the circumstance, if it's not going to kill you to miss one day, then I would suggest maybe that's something that you might have to do. But if you can talk to your professor beforehand and explain the situation so that it doesn't ding you in any way, then that's the best approach to take. Same thing with work. If you are working at some job that you're looking to leave, or maybe you just have a job on campus at a university, you may try to request time off beforehand, and this is why you need to do this in advance and properly prepare so that you can find this new opportunity. It's going to be worth missing one day just to get this salary, you know, which is going to be a lot more, of course. So this is to your own discretion. I just wanted to provide this information because I've had these challenges before in the past and had to make these decisions for myself. And this is what I also tell my clients and my mentees when talking to them and they're deciding what they're going to do, because the sooner you can go to the career fair, honestly, the better. And the later in the day, the more long the lines get, and you know, you may not be able to talk to as many companies as you originally wanted to because the lines are so long and it's taking about 10 minutes just to go talk to one company. So something to definitely keep in mind. Again, to be early, that means that you need to complete all this other prep before. For example, you probably want to go ahead and lay your clothes out the night before, or pick these out weeks in advance so that you're not scrambling at the last minute the day of trying to figure out what you're going to wear, which might make you late to the career fair. Same thing as far as you know, making sure that you get the permissions to miss class or leave a little bit early, coordinate that. Same thing as far as printing your resumes. You don't want to wait until the day of to print your resumes, because what if the printer runs out of ink, or what if the system is down, what have you. That doesn't mean that you can't just go print a few copies right before the fair, because I've definitely done that, and that's okay. But the further out you can do that, the before, and the faster you can finish updating your resume, just the better prepared you're going to be, and that's going to allow you to come a little bit earlier to the career fair. But if you do have all this stuff going on and you're not able to go early, don't let that stop you, okay? Go ahead and still do everything that you need to do. Even if you have to go to the career fair a few hours early, that's okay. There's still opportunities, there's still chances for you. So definitely take care of your business and still go. Going late is going to be better than not going at all. Again, related to the interview slots, there's only a limited number. These are going to fill up quickly. For more information about just interviewing, check out this video here where I'm going to talk about the STAR method and behavioral interviews. This is actually a video from the past, but next week I'm actually going to be posting a video that talks more about digital interviews. So digital interviews isn't necessarily an interview the day of. This is something that you would have to do on your own time after, as far as next steps after a career fair and applying online. So that you don't miss this video and you can learn more about digital interviews and how to prepare for those, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss that video and you can get all that information. All right, that's it for the career fair prep checklist. If you like this video or if you learned something new, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want more professional development videos, make sure to check out one of these videos over here. If you want to stay connected with me and get more free tips, make sure to follow me on my socials at Instagram and Twitter. And then also, if you want some one-on-one help with your resume, whether that's a resume makeover, maybe some mock interview practice, or you want some one-on-one help with the entire application process from start to finish, including your resume, elevator pitch, networking, negotiations, and so much more, please visit my website, taylorosmith.com, book a preliminary consultation, and we can work towards helping you with these next steps. Until then, happy job hunting, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.